Hey there, this is Scrapping Like a Lady, and I am working on the dome of the glass dome, basically, of the beast. I was going to do my rose in a different color. I was going to do it in black and blue, and I couldn't, with ABs, black and blues, and I couldn't because the drills do not fit perfectly in their perspective places. I mean, let me say this right. The drills have a background. And so when you place the drills, you can still see the shadow of the color that's supposed to be there. If you turn the light tray on or the light pad on, you can see that red going around there. But when you turn it off, of course, you can't. It all blends together. Well, when I put the black AB diamonds on the red areas, you could see the shadow of the red coming through, or the hue of the red. It was just very disappointing. So I did do something a little bit different. I did put some gold there, and it didn't look bad with the red in back of it, but the black with the red in back really looked bad. So yeah, so I'm going to change some of this black out. I did put some of the black ABs there for the outline, and it made a little bit of a difference, but not enough. So I'm going to go back through and take all the black off and replace those with the black ABs. Yeah. And I moved my camera pole off of my table because I had it connected to my table. And every time I moved my table, the camera would shake you guys back and forth. So now I was making sure the time was being recorded. So now, yeah, I'm here in Texas, sitting in the dark. The only light that's coming in is from the window. You guys know that we have bad weather going on, and we have probably a foot of snow on the ground right now. I talked to my cousin in New York, and she was laughing. She's like, it's colder there than it is here. I got to put on my readers here. If I can see these symbols. Now, I hope I don't put my big head in the camera. Let me see. I'm making sure this time my big head doesn't go in the camera. Oh, my goodness. So I watched my video back the other day, and I'm glad I did. I guess I'm a little self-aware now, I should say, of my videos, because one of the videos was turned vertically as opposed to horizontally, and yeah. So I was going to get into part 4 of Lisa's life, and I can never stay on track, so I'll probably be all over the place. I'm just gonna talk a little bit while I work, and let you guys get out your little projects, and we can just rap about a bunch of nothing and get some work done. So my shop is closed because of the bad weather. I'm not going to, Pam will call me here in a minute to see what I want to do. We do have patients lined up and backed up from earlier part of the week. Today is Wednesday. It's hard to believe that. So I've been closed Tuesday and today. So those patients had to be moved. And we thought surely we'll be up and going by, Thursday. But yeah, no, the weather is pretty bad out there. So I'm not getting out there, and I definitely don't want Pam to get her little old tail out there. I always call her old. She's 69 years old, and she runs circles around me. It is so funny. I mean, she gets off from work. She goes and walks 5 miles. She used to do kickboxing, and she wears these gloves, and she's like, "I could beat you," And then she punches me for pretend, and it really hurts. I'm like, "Okay, old lady, you need to go somewhere." And I do not. I do not like working out at all. I don't want to jump. I don't want to do any of that. Now, I like to dance, even though I can't dance. I do like to dance, so some type of jazzercise is all right, but I don't want to. I don't like it anymore. I used to love it. And they say, "Oh, when you get back into it, you'll love it." And, no, I don't even want to try. I just want to sit down somewhere and diamond dot. Diamond paint. Um, my husband's over here shaking his head like, this girl is some kind of crazy. I don't care what he thinks. I don't. He doesn't. You don't want to exercise either, do you, Willie? He don't want to exercise. He don't want to do nothing. He just wants to sleep half the time, talking about he's ready to retire and he's 55 years old. Like, what? What? Well, he's going to be 55 this August. So he acts old, though. He acts like an old man. And he's got this little sports car now. He hasn't even really taken it out. It still has the same gas in it that he bought it, what, 3 months ago, Willie? Yeah, 3 months ago. Still has the same tank of gas in there. Oh, you finally put some gas in there? Oh, he got his first tank of gas. I stand corrected. So, oh, Lord, there it is. Yeah. I think he should put gas in my car personally. I don't think that I should have to go to the gas station to put gas in my car. I think that should be his responsibility. He thinks that I'm responsible for what goes in the refrigerator, so I think he should be responsible for my car because I don't know anything about a car. And so I think that he should do that. So he tried to do it a time or two, but he's awful. He's awful at doing that. Anyways, and I hate getting gas. I think it is like the worst chore in the world to have to stop and get gas. I'm like, ugh. But I'm sure some independent women out there would disagree with me, but there are also those independent women that probably aren't cooking for their man. So I don't mind cooking, so I don't think you should mind getting my gas. Hello? I'm talking over here. First world problems. Right? Anyways, I think he discounts what I do. I really do. I work, I cook, I clean, I do all of these things. But anyways, now is my house the cleanest? Oh, hell no, it is not. Right now, it is an utter mess, and I have like zero desire to clean it. I'm not going to clean it either. I don't feel like it, and I'm not going to do it. And I think the weather has got me feeling blah. So I'm going to use that excuse and go with it. And I don't see them cleaning either. Like I said, there are 2 adult children in this house and my husband. And oh my God, we have been in this house for 21 years? No, June 24th, honey. We always move on June 24th. We always buy houses and close on that date. So, yeah, it's the June 24th. And that's so weird because we never planned it that way. It's just both of our closings were on, well, not the last 2, because we bought the other house And what? 90, before Cameron was born. Mateo Circle. 96. And then we bought this one in 2000. And it's 2021. Well, this June will be 21 years. Oh, good Lord. That just means one thing. We're getting old. And then while we were here, we bought a little country house. And it literally is in the country. There's like, it's like farmland. And we went to see this house, and I was like, I'm not even getting out of the car. And we use the same realtor for all of our properties. We bought other properties here in Dallas, but I'm just telling you about this one. But because we bought Lake Louisville, the one on Lake Louisville with Stephanie too. So 4 properties in total. And then my sister bought her house with her too. But anyways, the house in the country is on 7 acres. It's a cute little house. I actually uploaded a video. It's on here too, our little country house. And the lady that we bought the house from, she was a nurse too. And she left me a note on the counter saying that she was glad that it was going to another nurse and all this kind of stuff. It was just really cute. But she had a donkey, and the donkey came with the property. And her mother lived up the street. And when we went back to our property, the donkey was gone. She had taken the donkey and given it to her mother, which was really strange because it was actually in the paperwork that the donkey went with the house.
Yeah, we went and visited enough.
I know. I'm not complaining that the donkey was gone, but it's like, shouldn't she have asked us about whether or not she could have our donkey? I know she made the best decision for the donkey, but I don't know that it was her decision to make. That's all I'm saying. Don't be an ass. Oh, that's original. You better be lucky that word is in the Word of God. Anyways.
You gonna write that in your
Oh my gosh. So, yeah, she took it upon herself to get rid of our donkey, and which is fine. I mean, I don't know the first thing about taking care of animals. Now, we do have cows, and currently our cows are at
someone else's house.
My accountant's house, her property, not her house, but her property. Because our country neighbor let his cows, well, I won't say let his cows, but his bull, tried to jump our fence to get at our cows. And in doing so, knocked down our fence, which in turn allowed our cows to get out and walk to town. And the sheriff was like, he told the neighbors, because they couldn't get in touch with us, and he told the neighbors that they were going to confiscate our cows, put them in cow prison, because they can't be out just roaming about, you know. So, yeah. I guess they put them back on the property, and they didn't know the fence was broken down because they took them to the front of the fence, and it was the back of the fence. So they just walked right back on out and went to town again. So anyways, long story short, our cows are now at my accountant's farm, and she takes care of them. Her and her lovely husband. They are so wonderful people. But and they're also really, really good friends of ours. Over the years now, we've actually become friends. And her husband, oh my God, Emmett, he is the craziest person. I'll get into some Emmett stories later on. But yeah, he's super crazy. I love them to death. But let's see. So yeah, I don't know anything about taking care of animals. My husband goes out there and feeds them alfalfa and he did all that kind of stuff like that. And he's a city boy too. He don't know nothing. He trying to act like he's old. You got friends? He tries to act like he's a ranch hand, but he's not. Oh gosh, we're clueless. Now I wasn't watching. I was listening to an audio tape that I bought, Mary Jane's Farm, and she's this little Caucasian woman that wanted to change her life, and she went and bought all this land, and she grows all these, daffodils, and all these plants that you can actually turn into teas, and she has a farm. And I mean, now she has a magazine, but when I was listening to her audio tape, it was her book on tape. Many, many years ago. She didn't have anything that she has today. And but it's called Mary Jane's Farm. And they actually sent me a notification saying that my subscription had given up. And I didn't renew my subscription last year, just because I didn't have time to read all that stuff, and do the things that I would love to do. I'm like, okay, you're getting these magazines and you're not even really utilizing them to the fullest extent that you could, because there are all kind of arts and crafts and jams and putaways, which means that you're just kind of like dehydrating food and stuff like that. But and I just wasn't using the things that they were suggesting that we do to have this tranquil lifestyle. And now I miss it. Now I'm like, oh, because the magazines are meaty. They have a lot of useful information in them. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start my subscription back up again. I'm not really sure, because I have a lot of magazines that I hadn't read. My husband has his eyes in his head. Our electricity just popped back on again. Oh, let's turn some light on. Ooh. Ooh. So anyways, we will have a little bit of electricity for about 30 minutes or so. So there's my husband. He's moving off the couch because the electricity is on. So yeah, you don't know what you got until you don't have it anymore. I'm telling you that, because it is a pain in the tuchus not having the electricity, especially if you off, I'm like, oh my good Lord. Now it gets dark. Of course it gets dark early because it's winter. And I wish that my husband's going to the guest bathroom on my video. But so I wish that we had the electricity on full time, period. They were giving Abbott, our Governor Abbott here, a hard time. I mean, these Texans, they go hard anyways. If they don't like something, they're going to let it be known. But they were giving him a hard time. But I'm like, no, you need to go after these electricity companies, because when they were able to receive their, they got the tax deductions, their taxes reduced. They should have put back into their companies, and they didn't do that. They didn't give it to their employees. They didn't do anything. Their shareholders just pocketed the money. So now here it is. We're all out when they should have invested in, their infrastructure, as they say. They did not. Is it fair? No. Can I do anything about it? No. But let me tell you what I did do. I got to tell them about my heating disaster. So my pipe froze. We have air conditioning. They did the silliest thing here in this development. The air conditioning for the top unit has a drain that drains on the outside of your house. And that drain froze. So I had this bright idea, because the water, the drain started backing up, and it was literally coming out of my vent, out of my ceiling. I was sitting here diamond painting. I hear this drip, 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 and I look, and my ceiling is crying. And so I had this bright idea to take the, you know, those heating units that you can put on your porch. They're real tall. I forget what they call them. And heat the pipe out there, you know. Well, we just put brand new windows in the house. Yeah, the window just shattered. And they're triple pane windows. And it shattered. And because I guess the transitioning from freezing cold to the window heating up was just not a good idea. And I asked my husband, I was like, what do you think if we, and he was like, yeah, okay, that's a good idea. And he was out there with me. Now he's trying to act like you broke the window. Yeah, now he's full of crap. He said, you pulled it closer. No, it was going to break no matter what. Willie, it was going to break no matter what. Anyways, moving on with the story. So my window is broken. My ceiling is leaking. And
No, it's not. I fixed it.
You fixed it?
Without breaking anything else.
Oh, my husband said he fixed the drain thing. But anyways, see that sarcasm? See, that's going to get him a good divorce lawyer.
Donkey. You should never tell a woman what to do with her ass.
I'm not going to tell you guys the joke he just told about the donkey. So, you probably heard him. But, but yeah, so that's my winter disaster stories. I hope that's the worst of it. But is that the worst of the weather that we're going to get?
No.
No?
Coming tonight.
Oh, storms coming tonight? Okay. So
As they say in Texas, the storms are coming.
the storms are coming, yes. So I'm thinking, my God, I've got it so bad. I got it so bad. So the electricity clicked on for its 30 minutes of usage. And I listened to the news on my phone, and the stories are just so terrible. People are trying to keep warm, and the things that they're doing, and the emergency rooms have seen 14 people for carbon monoxide poisoning, and one family even bought their barbecue grill in the house to keep warm. And yeah, no, people, we're not doing that. Country people. I love country people, actually. Y'all's gonna go over there and do this, that, and the other. We will. Thank you. So, people think that, oh, if you have an accent or you talk countryfied, that you're ignorant. That's so far from the truth. It's not even funny. Now, I mean, everyone have their ignorant folks in the race, but I'm just saying, just because you have an accent doesn't mean that you are countryfied or ignorant or any of those things, unintelligent. Not true. Because I deal with some very rich people with very proper English that are just as ignorant as they want to be. So what is that? They're allowed to be ignorant because they're rich? I don't think so. So now, this weather has got to give. My husband is going into consulting, and he said, oh, I'm glad I don't start for a while because I'd be losing so much money right now. And I was like, my clinic is closed. Like, I'm losing money every day.
Just change.
Oh, it's just change, just chicken change? Yeah, okay.
You can get it out of my center console.
I can get it out of your center console in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, why don't I just keep my income and we'll just say that it's mine.
I'm better at holding quarters.
Oh, you're better at holding it than I am? Holding quarters. Oh my gosh. So I always say my employee, Pam, sends me these pictures, and I'll be dang on. Her ceiling has big old gaping holes in it. And I mean, not just one, like 3 gaping holes in it. And her floor, she said there was 2 inches of water in her house, and her wood floors are buckled. And oh my gosh, I just felt so sorry for her. So I hope she called her home. I was going to say homeowners association, her home insurance. And this morning, I told her to call last night, and she was like, there's nobody there. I'm like, don't you think they got 24-hour lines? There's an emergency always. They're your insurance company. But I was like, you know what? She's already under stress. Let me just let her do it her way. Yeah, one time a tree fell on her house, and it was in the other people, it was her neighbor's tree, and it fell in her house on her roof and damaged her roof. And the insurance said they didn't have to pay it because the laws have changed. And they said if it's a dead tree, they'll pay for it. But if it's a live tree, they won't. And I was like, you know, if it wasn't for bad luck, you know that stupid saying, you wouldn't have no luck at all. She has got the funkiest things that happen to her. I was like, somebody should have carted the tree off and then called the insurance company. Nah, they have to come out and see that. But yeah, so that happened to her too. I'm gonna have to call her here in a minute to see how she's faring. But ugh, and she keeps her house like spotless. And she's like, and her washing machine stopped working. So she's like, look it, and I have 25 towels over here. They're just soaking wet. I'm like, okay, dude, I can't even help you. I don't even know what to say. I'm stuck over here, so I can't drive and do anything. And she said it was cold in her house. Oh, the list just goes on and on. I was like, ugh, I cannot stand being cold. I can be hot and sweaty and sticky and all of those icky things that, you know, most people don't like to be. Humid weather, you know, doesn't bother me. I was like, ooh, make your hair grow. But I do not like being cold. And like right now, my feet are cold. My husband bought me those warming socks, and apparently they weren't keeping a charge or something like that. So he says he's going to send those back and order me new socks.
With a car battery.
With a car battery? Yeah, because my feet are so cold. And I make it a point when we get in bed to put my feet right on him. That way, and he rubs them, you know, for the most part. He rubs my feet. Every night and every morning. He rubs my feet, usually give me coffee and rub my feet.
So I guess to get gas ain't so bad, right?
Yeah, so him not getting my gas is, yeah, you're right. It's not that bad. I can live without that. Yeah, that's our thing, though. He's like, wake up, come on, sleepyhead. I'm like, ah. And he just puts my coffee on the nightstand, and yeah. I was a little spoiled like that.
Domesticated.
But he also will say, I'm hungry. So yeah, we both have each other trained to what is important to us and what we like. So don't even go there. Yeah, panting like a dog. You're my little dog.
I know.
So a lot of women don't like cooking. Like my sister, she does it, you know.
But then the fire department complains.
And then the fire department complains, he says. Okay, so let me tell you about why he's saying that. One time.
What about the roadside bomb cakes?
Yes, one time my sister, she doesn't bake and she wasn't really into cooking. So now she's like, I'm going to start making meals and this, that, and the other. So, but she wanted to bake a homemade cake. And I was like, all right, I'll share my recipe with you. My best friend, she makes all her stuff homemade, and I love her cake. So she gave me her recipe, and it's my favorite. So here I was sharing it with my sister, who I thought would be able to read the ingredient list and be all right with it. Well, no. Because if you're not familiar with cooking, you have to, if you're not familiar, you need to know the different symbols, you know, the teaspoon, the tablespoon, and, you know, cup and stuff like that, the abbreviations for it. Well, I don't know how she mixed it up, but she put 2 cups of baking powder, no, baking soda in the cake mix.
Red dot, black gunpowder.
Maybe it was baking powder. Was it baking powder that she put in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was the baking powder. Well, my sister used to live across the street from me, and she runs over to my house, and she's like, Lisa, that cake is like, it's like bellowing out of her oven. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, she put 2 cups of the baking soda, so it just exploded and just lava, you know, just pouring out of the oven. And so that's what my husband call it. What do you call it?
Roadside bomb cake.
Roadside bomb cake. Oh my good Lord. That was hilarious. So she's had quite a few disasters in the kitchen trying to learn new things. And she said to me a couple of weeks ago, she's like, where was I when you were learning how to cook? Because I used to watch my grandmother Kelly in the kitchen. She was, I think, Irish, Italian, French, Italian, and black. And so, if I'm saying it all correctly, if not, my cousin Marla will tell me what she is. But she could cook. Oh my gosh, you go to her house, and she was such a ritualistic person. She always had the meals cooked when Grandpa came home from the, he worked at the steel mill. And so she would have the food ready when he got there, like no questions asked. Here's your dinner.
That happened.
Yeah, I used to do that. I don't do that anymore because I'm working now. So yeah. So I learned to cook from watching her. I don't ever remember her letting me even stir a pot, but I remember watching her cook. Lots of onions and bell peppers and red sauce and stuff like that. And then my grandma Shaw, she was from Mississippi, so she used to make all the southern meals. I mean, like real southern meals. So fried cow tripe and squirrel and, I mean, you name it. Raccoon. I saw it in my grandmother's freezer. You open the freezer and you had these animals snarling at you, just like, ah, like, oh my goodness. So there's no telling what I've eaten in my lifetime. I'm sure I've probably had about every animal on a farm and in the wild. So my grandmother would cook all types of southern food, you know, green jams, cornbread, from everything from scratch, you know, no box stuff that I ever saw. But yeah, and she used to make this coconut caramel cake. Oh my gosh, it's no wonder I love coconut. It was so good. It was my favorite. And she used to make banana pudding. And that's my sister's favorite. In fact, she tried to make it the other day. Cover your ears.
I know.
So, yeah. She was like, now, I said, don't get that instant mix. You've got to get the pudding that you have to cook on the stove, you know? So there's a difference. The one that's instant pudding is so watery taste, and it's like a hollow taste to it. The one that you cook has a thicker consistency to it. So, yeah.
You can send those cakes to the insurgents in Iraq and get rid of them.
Willie Cooper. So my husband and my sister tease each other relentlessly when she comes over. Well, you can see my husband is a heckler anyways. So he teases her and she teases him. And the funniest thing is my husband's a big man, you know, and for Christmas, he wears a large.
Extra large.
Extra large, sorry. An extra large shirt and pants. You know, not pants. He wears a 40 pants. But he wears an extra large shirt. Well, she bought him a 3X pajamas. Very nice pajamas.
Like a king-size bed comforter.
Yeah, I was like, when he opened it up, I was like, he just kept pulling fabric out. I was like, what the heck was she thinking, you know? So she had a second gift that she hadn't bought over for him. And so on Christmas, we all did our phone calls on the Glide. You know, the Glide is like a Zoom, but it's more for families and stuff like that, you know? And so when he opened his gift, I was holding the phone doing the Zoom, and I can just see my sister cracking up. So she zoomed me right away, not zoomed, glided me right away. And she was like, oh my God, where's his second gift? He didn't open the second gift. So they found Willie's gift there, and she bought it to him. But yeah, she's like, well, I don't know. She thought he was that size. Oh my good Lord. It was hilarious. So she got jokes. So I need to take those pajamas up and bust the seams and redo them. Hell, I might be able to get a pair of pajamas for myself out of there, because that's a lot of fabric.
Get her size 0. You know her belly is gonna fit in there.
She doesn't wear a 0. She wears like she might wear a 2.
Exactly.
You're something else.
If you got jokes, I got jokes too.
So, like I said, those two heckle each other relentlessly. She'll call me first thing in the morning, and he starts in on her, and then she starts. She's not normally the one instigating it. It's my husband. As you can tell, he's quite the character. So, let's see. What did I told you guys about? Well, I told you about a lot of stuff. I told you about this crazy weather and all the mishaps and stuff that's going on. My mom said that the one lady tried to heat the house, and she wound up, I guess, burning the house down with her 4 kids inside of it. And oh, I thought you were laughing about what I just said. I was like, how is that funny? Yeah. He's laughing about something else. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so horrible. Can you imagine being responsible for basically killing your children? You know, trying to look out for their best interests and wind up accidentally killing them. Ugh. They would have to put me in a coma for me to live out the rest of my life, because I wouldn't be able to be conscious and do it. I just wouldn't. So on the news, they were dang near pleading with everyone, like, go to a shelter or go to a friend's house, a neighbor's house, you know, get some advice before you do these unconventional things to try to keep yourself warm.
Better ask somebody.
Yeah, you better ask somebody. So, good night. I mean, people with getting in their cars and the carbon monoxide from the cars and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my gosh, Willie. Would you shut up? I'm on the video.
I'm sorry.
They don't know your humor. I only know your humor. And unfortunately, your kids, my one son, Cameron, has his dad's humor. Last night I had to go beat on him. I just pow, pow, pow. I'm like, don't turn out like your father, you know. Yeah, because he's very sarcastic. I gotta move this down a little bit. He'll be fine. I said, let me say a prayer for your wife in advance, because I'm gonna have to pray your father's spirit off of you. Oh, it is so nice having electricity.
I'm gonna go do that door.
He's putting these panels in his car to make them really fancy. And it actually is really cute. He said it was like a $1,500 option and he could do it himself. So, didn't you say it? Oh, you're going to do the door outside. Oh, okay. I thought you were putting more panels on your car. Oh, cool. So we have a screened-in porch, and it has 3 doors. I put French doors, and then I put a door on either side for we could get into any part of the yard. And the French doors have frozen, and so he's going to go thaw them out with the little heating torch that he has, melt the ice.
That's some of your sister's food. I'm gonna sprinkle that on there. Should burn right there.
You're so silly. So, do you guys see the way I'm all over the place when I do my diamond drill? This chaos is my life. This is how I roll. Yeah. So I bought 6 bottles of that Moscato. Yeah, right. And I told you guys I cannot drink. You get 4 glasses of wine basically in a bottle. And I bought that on Saturday. It is now Wednesday. And mind you, my boys have had a glass of wine or 2 out of the bottles. But there's like 2 bottles left. Yeah. I have been killing it. I had now I say a glass of wine. I only drink that much. And my boys, they pour a full glass, you know. And I just sip on it like all day, sipping on this thing. And now I know that's the way I'll have to drink. Because if I drink too fast, I told you, I will be drunk. So I have just been sipping on it. Well, there's nothing to do. Nothing but Diamond Dot. I mean, when the lights go out here in a minute, I mean, what am I going to do? And then, like I said, it gets dark early because it's winter. And so, yeah. So one of my, I think she's a subscriber now. She's in Fort Worth. And I told her, I'm like, hi, Miss Fort Worth. When this Rona clears up, maybe we can have a little retreat, you know, a Diamond Dot retreat. And that's what I was telling my husband, that maybe I should buy some small little 2-bedroom tiny homes and put them on our property. That would be like a great little retreat, you know, for people to go there. There's a really nice pond on the property, and there's fish in there, and there's pecan trees. I mean, it is really pretty out there, really peaceful. But he didn't say anything, so usually if he doesn't, then he disagrees with me, or he doesn't want to do that, or you're wrong. Or he's going to think about it and get with me at another time, but I don't know. I really would like to do that. And I have never slept at the other house. We've never slept there. We literally bought that property about 5 years ago. I furnished it real cute like.
We can't sleep there. It's sacrilegious.
Why?
Remember the Jesus mouse?
The Jesus mouse? Oh my God. There was and I don't know if it's in other places, but we had this, I just lost one of my drills. We had this we had this mouse. I think that's it. No, I just took that drill off and that wasn't supposed to come off. We had this mouse that was it's like a wild mouse. I forget what they call it, but they do not look like other cute little mice. I mean, this thing looks like it was, or they are rabbit. I mean, they are just like almost like a crossbreed between a rat and a mouse. And so Willie killed it, and I was like, okay, yeah, no. But see, nobody stays in that house, and so the mice will come, you know, if you don't occupy the place. And so God knows what's living up in that house. And I need to have an exterminator go out before I sleep in there, because I'm not the one. I don't like no creepy crawlies on me. Yeah. Do you guys see that I'm getting done with this? And down here, I've got some of this done too because the dome is down here. So I just did all the black. I was like, you know what? We ain't even playing that game. So I'm looking forward to this one being completed just because I like to look at my work. Yeah. For dinner, I'm going to make ribs, baby back ribs. I love ribs, like really love ribs. I don't know why, but I do. I could eat them at least once a week. And my family don't object. If they do, they're keeping silent about it because nobody has ever said, Mom, don't make ribs. I bought lobster and crab legs for Valentine's Day, and I didn't feel like eating that on Valentine's. So we still have that in there. And listen to this. So I go to the butcher, and I'm standing there, and I said, I'd like 6 of those lobster tails. And then I said, no, make it 10 lobster tails. And he looks at me dead in my eyes and says, you know, that price is for each one. Okay. I didn't even know what to say. I was just going to stare at him. And I said, yeah, I know that. I'm like, don't be offended. You don't know where he's going with that. But that's just so ridiculous. Yeah, no, I thought that price was by the pound. Get out of here. Get out of town. And I look back at my husband, and when someone says something ignorant, he just blinks like, yeah, okay. So then he gives me my 10 lobster tails, and then I told him, oh, I also want the crab. And I got the snow crab as opposed to the king crab. I like them both. And now I'm wishing I would have gotten the king crab. But I like them both. So there's no here, no there, right? Just eat and enjoy them. But I think I should have got more. I think I got like 6 pounds. And I've got grown men up in this house. And Logan, my special baby, he can throw down like his mama with some crab. So I could eat like 2 pounds of crab, 3 pounds of crab by myself. Yeah, this little ugly gal can do some crabs. But the baby can too. So 6 pounds, where's the food for Willie and Cameron? Don't know. So, yeah. I know my husband is not going to go to the store. I don't even know if Kroger has delivery right now. That's where I got them at, from Kroger. I like to usually get my stuff from Costco, but I didn't want it until I saw that. Do anyone do that? You see something like, ooh, I'm in the mood for that now. Yeah, so I should have made it that night on Saturday, but I was like, oh, I'm going to save it for Valentine's and make it special. Because I did not get my husband a Valentine's Day gift. I didn't put on any lingerie. Let me just be honest. I don't even own lingerie. Your gal ain't in it. So, but I saw Victoria's Secret had some really cute panties, and they were shaped like a heart around the butt, and it had like a G-string going through it. And I was like, ooh, I need to go get some of those. But wait, let's stop. Let's really think about a senseless buy. I don't wear panties. So, yeah. And I don't have a butt. So, yeah, that was not going to work. I had to put those things on. He probably would have laughed. Yeah, no, I'm not going to humiliate myself like that. So, with all that being said, Victoria still has her panties, and I have my dignity. Am I still recording? Oop. I have like 9 minutes before it has been an hour that I have just been rattling on. You know, what is it? Miss Crochet and Coffee had a 1 hour whip and chat challenge. And I was like, ain't no challenge for me, honey, because this little mouth can go. But you know, I'm a good listener too. At least I think I'm a good listener, because my patients, they just pour out their life story, and I can recount or recant their story back to them. So I must be a good listener. And I ask a lot of questions. I am nosy. I'll be the first to tell you that. I am nosy. If I want to know a question, if I want to know an answer, I'm going to ask that question. So that's the only way you can learn. And I've always been inquisitive. And I don't mean any harm by it. You know, my one client, she's gay. And I wanted to know, you know, what's that all about? How'd you know? When'd you know? You know? And she knows that I don't have any, you know, malice or ill will or intent. So she was just like, oh, such and such and such and such and such. When I was in kindergarten, I thought this girl was cute and this, that, and the other. She was just talking. I was like, wow, man, this is deep, because my mind don't go that way. I don't bend that way. So I don't understand, you know? So yeah. And it's not because I'm judging, because I don't think that I am. You know, you have to say think, because you might be judging and not know that you're judgmental. But I don't think that I'm being judgmental, or else they might feel weird about answering my questions, and they never show any signs of that. So, and I mean, it should, if you're doing something, why are you offended if someone asks you about that thing that you're doing? You know, so I don't see why people get offended. Maybe it's the way that people ask them stuff, or ask anyone something, you know? Yeah. So how is the weather where you guys are at? And do you guys have electricity? Because mine's is going to blink out here in a minute. I'm telling you, I'm going to be in the dark. Well, it's not dark because it's not night yet, but It's going to start looking dingy in this house in a minute. I think when I finish this, I will, when the lights go back out, I will go and start painting my cabinet. I painted it in a white that's a little too stark for my liking. So I went back and I got a more of a creamy white color. And I bought the soft wax in the antique to soften it, because the rooms in there are like a khaki brown color, you know, light tan. So the stark white was just too much. I was like, no, I ain't feeling this. So I wasted money on that paint, but live and learn. You gotta spend money to see what you like and what you don't like. It wasn't that expensive. I think it was like 20 bucks, $27 or something like that. And, but I am gonna like it white. I am. So, which is really strange because my sister likes white furniture and all that stuff, but she painted her furniture and she did it black. And I was like, Sean, what is really going on? So, I am going to bid you guys goodbye because this is a whole hour and I'm sure you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me rifle on about anything. But I hope that some of my stories and laughing with my crazy husband was entertaining to you guys. I will be doing more of these WIP and chats. Oh, and let me say this. I always start and stop, don't I? Okay, just go with me. Go with Lisa. I'm very spontaneous. That's why I can't do or write in an organizer. I can't be organized because I'm too spontaneous. And I just thought about that this morning. I'm like, you are too spontaneous to be organized, you know? Or that's that ADHD, ADD. So I'm just really shocked at how many people are like subscribing to my channel. It just keeps going. Boop, 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 boop. And I'm like, oh Lord, people like the least. So thank you guys. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I really do. It makes a gal feel good to know that people actually like listening to what you say or entertain them, one or the other. So this is Scrapping Like a Lady, and I am going to bid you goodbye. I am going to go and paint my furniture. Be blessed and know that God loves you. Bye-bye.